Hello, my name's Cal and I'll be your coach for today. I wanted to talk to you about calories. Now, I wanted to give a bit of a disclaimer before we got into this video. Obviously, in these current times, there are more important things or more pressing things that we should be focusing on, and first of all, front of mind should be abiding with government advice on social distancing and isolation. And I am aware that posting a video about weight loss or managing your calories or managing your weight, any of those sort of things at this current time does seem a little bit distasteful and a little bit irrelevant in the grander scheme of things. But we as society do care how we look, and actually it's kind of bigger than that. It can be a massive impact on your health. And due to the government guidelines that we've been given, most of us are probably being less active than we ever have been. And that certainly has a knock-on effect on how much we can eat and maintain the same level of weight. Right, with that out of the way, let's talk about some calories, shall we? Calories are, and always will be, central to weight management. Whether you're trying to drop some body fat or gain some muscle, the balance of your calories in versus your calories out is going to be a massive factor on it, whether you achieve this or not, and the rate at which it happens. Now, another caveat to this video is that your fitness level or your general health is much more than just your body fat levels or the amount of muscle mass that you have. This means that you should focus on more than just your calories in versus your calories out. So, for example, what those calories are made up of. But that's not the focus of this video. I'll probably put one together later on down the line, so do let me know if that would be helpful for you. So, simply put, if you're eating more calories than you're using, you will put on weight. And most of that will likely be in the form of fat, unless you are doing some resistance training. And if you're eating less calories than you use, then you'll likely lose weight. And this weight will be split across both fat and muscle tissue. And you can limit the amount of muscle that you lose by, again, resistance training. So, in order to have some sort of control over this, we need to have some steer on how many calories we're putting in our body and how many calories we're using from our body. And this is always going to be a bit of an educated guess, unless you've got some seriously high-tech lab equipment in both the gym and the kitchen. So, in terms of calories out, it has become a bit of a minefield because we have so much data now from Fitbits, iWatches, heart rate monitors, and all of that sort of stuff. This data can be really powerful. We can use it to compare our efforts across workouts, we can use it to track our progress in terms of fitness over time, but it can be quite a negative thing as well. In some people, it does tend to create a false viewpoint that exercise is for burning calories, and they start to equate those two things exactly. I myself have fallen into that problem before, where I just looked at my watch after every workout to see how many calories I'd burn, forgetting the real reason for exercising, which is either to improve your strength, to improve your fitness, to improve a skill, or to improve your mood. So instead, I like to use a really simple set of equations to calculate your caloric output. All you need is some basic information about yourself, which in this case is your body weight in kilograms, and then a rough idea of your activity levels across the week. So that would be a combination of your non-exercise activity, so whether you have a manual job, whether you have a pet that you walk a lot, whether you drive a car or cycle a bike to work, all those sorts of things, that's how active you are. And then also your exercise activity. So whether you go to the gym 1, 2, 3, 5 times a week, and what you do at the gym, is it something less calorically demanding like Pilates and yoga, or is it something like running, sprinting, lifting weights that's something slightly more caloric? All you need to know is that your general activity level and your body weight, and then you can use these equations to calculate a number for you to aim at. Basically how it works is that your body weight in kilos on this side is multiplied by an activity level multiplier, depending on whether you want to maintain your body fat levels and gain a bit of muscle, or whether you want to lose some body fat and hopefully save as much muscle as possible. So in this top example, this person weighs 75 kilos. They've rated themselves as moderately active, so about halfway between the two numbers, 27 and 32, and that has spat out a number of 2,250 calories per day. Whereas in this second example, this person is looking at dropping some body fat. So again, they've rated themselves between these two numbers, and they've given themselves a score of 23, so much closer to the less active end of the spectrum. They've times that by their body weight, and it's spat out this number of 1,725 calories per day. So you could take that number and simply eat that amount of calories per day for the next few weeks, monitor your weight on the scales and how you look in the mirror and how you feel in your clothes. If those things all look like they're going well, then stick at that number for longer. And if they don't look like they're changing in the direction you want them to, then you might need to drop your calories again or up your activity levels. Another good way of looking at calories is across a weekly target. So I've taken the person that wanted to lose some body fat who is on 1725 calories per day. I've times it by 7 to hit 12,075. So that's their weekly target. And this way you can give yourself slightly less during the week, so 1,500 calories Monday to Thursday, which gives you slightly more on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when most people like more calories. So you've got over 2,000 calories there on a dieting set of calories. So what about the other side of the equation in terms of calories into the body? The good news is that these days we have access to loads of information about nutritional content of food. So anything you buy in a supermarket will have caloric content broken down on the back of pack, and lots of restaurants, takeaways, etc. are now doing that on their website as well. So I know Domino's, Nando's, Wagamama's, loads of people are doing that on their website. And the other good news is that all of this information has been collated and uploaded onto apps like MyFitnessPal by users, and then you can simply go on there and search for stuff and add it into your food diary. Now, these numbers do have some variance as well. I think it's something like a 15% leeway up and down on the back of supermarket food, and then obviously restaurants will probably be a similar sort of variance, so it is a bit of a rough guess or a best estimate, but so is your calculation for your calories out. So we are working with in the realms of those errors. We just need to be consistent with what we do, and then track and monitor your weight and how you look in the mirror and how you're feeling in your clothes alongside that information in terms of what's coming into your body, and make adjustments if you are losing too fast or gaining too slow or whatever the outcome is. And that's exactly what I'd advise you to do. I would advise you to have a think about where you're at on the equation side of things. Are you being active at the moment? I'm certainly not being as active as I used to be, so I need to probably redo these equations. Are you wanting to maintain your body weight and gain a bit of muscle, or are you wanting to lose some fat and hopefully hold on to some muscle? Have a play around with those and figure out what your daily calories are. If you want to be a bit more inventive with it, then you can play this weekly game and add in some higher days and some lower days if that helps it fit your lifestyle. Because remember, the best diet is the one that you can stick to, not one that gives you a number that you are really struggling to stay under all the time. And then get tracking. It does take a bit of time and get a bit of getting used to start with, in terms of scanning food barcodes and searching for stuff and figuring weights out of things and weighing things, but it is useful in the long run, and it is really the only true way of figuring out how many calories are coming into your body versus how many calories are going out. And what I would say is that this doesn't have to be a forever solution, so you don't have to track your calories every day for the rest of your life. You can use it tactically before you're going on holiday if you want to trim up, or if you have a competition soon and you want to get a bit lighter or put some muscle on for that. Whatever the reason is, you can use it in short-term bursts to chase your goals. You'll also see a lot of people on social media talking about intuitive eating, so the ability to just instinctively know how much food you need to eat to maintain a certain amount of body fat or your body weight or energy levels or whatever that is. And you will learn how to do that over time, but doing this is great practice because you learn how big a portion of pasta is a sensible amount for X amount of calories, or how much chicken you need to hit a certain protein number and all that sort of stuff. So you will, by practicing this sort of thing, become better intuitively, and then in your times when you aren't tracking, you'll probably be much better placed to stay consistent with what you're doing. As always, any questions, let me know. Happy to go over this with you, and stay safe out there, guys. Bye.